As the founders of Surefoot, Bob and Russ Shea are obsessed with creating the perfect ski boot for you because they know that a properly fitted custom ski boot will make you a better skier, whatever level you're at. Surefoot. Better fitting, better skiing.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Freeride Guide. We are here in Val Thorens, France. And you called me out on this last time, and I asked Victor de la Rue how to pronounce it because he's from here, and it's Val Thorens.
Yes, good.
Yes, it's still hard, and we're getting better.
Well, we're not French. We're not that French. We're Canadian, but...
Yes. So we're here. We're in the hotel Fahrenheit 7 where the athletes were staying. Most of them have left, and we're in kind of a conference room right now, hiding in a quiet corner. So before we get started, thank you to everybody that's following us. And we want you to follow the Freeride Guide. It's available on every podcast app. It's on YouTube if you're watching us right now. And if you wouldn't mind, we'd really love it if you'd give us a review. Hit 5 stars if you think it's worth it. Give us a thumbs up, comment, do any of that kind of stuff. Participate, and we would very much appreciate that. Also, you can find us on Instagram, freeride_guide. A lot of little clips and bits and pieces from the episodes that we're going to do, plus the week that has been is on there. So go check that out as well. And we're going to get into some sponsors because they've made it happen. Thanks to Surefoot Skiing, Surefoot custom ski boots fitting you with Surefoot custom heated liners and custom orthotics. Ski boots are a long-term investment in your skiing experience, and Surefoot is here to educate your decision. Don't just take our word for it. Come and check out one of the 29 Surefoot locations around the world, Canada, US, and in Europe. And I'll tell you, it was cold as heck yesterday in my boot liners, heated boot liners.
Clutch. Absolutely clutch yesterday.
Real nice. And finally, thanks to Head Skis and Tyrolia Bindings, the Head Core Collection is built to ski anything and are a Freeride World Tour partner as well as the sponsor of the Freeride Guide, as well as many of the athletes, including a first-time winner today.
Yeah, big time. Big day for Head.
Big day for Head. And I am currently skiing on a pair of Core 118s, which I brought here. And I mounted them, brought them here first day on the slope, and I love them. Especially yesterday in between, before the comp, when we got to ski some sunny POW. Oh, good times.
I was jealous.
All right, and then we also want to tell you guys, while you're listening, send us some feedback to the backslap line. We did something great, give us a slap on the back. We screwed something up.
We backslapped.
So apparently we haven't been backslapping because we don't have a backslap email today. So this is us pressuring you. What are you doing? If you think you know better, or maybe you don't, or maybe you'd like us to say something, send us that email. We don't have one this week, but we should have one for next week.
Yep.
Not should, we want one for next week. So if you something you've been thinking about, send it to us. It's backslap@freerideguyepodcast.com. Okay.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to get her started?
Well, the conditions on the face, I think, were one of the biggest question marks coming into this event. It was
new face too.
Yeah, brand new face, the Pointe Terrain, and it was kind of unknown. And we had on all of the scoping days the grayest, flattest light you could possibly have. So there's a whole bunch of question marks left on the venue. Like, does that go? Is it flat? Are the angles going to line up or match or whatever? Nobody really knew. The first sunny day we got was comp day. So that was...
And it's right back to gray and terrible today.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was literally the only day in the weather window that was even possible.
And it was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. And the wind was howling all week. So, I mean, we've been skiing around in the resort in the gray light, trying to figure out, like, helping the athletes scope and stuff. And the snow was, like, wind hammered, like sastrugi, big steps in it.
Yep.
And the guides and the Freeride World Tour organization kept saying, no, it's much better on the face. And it was really hard to clock that because it was so gray, so you couldn't see it. Mm-hmm. And then the last little bit of snow we got came with no wind and just settled right on top. And it was like truly powder.
was so
like
perfect.
it was pow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was unexpected, and it was an absolute miracle, and it was fantastic. When the forerunners went, Edgar Chelus was the first forerunner on comp morning, Astrid's brother. And when he went, everyone was like, oh, it's like that. And he laid down such a great run. He skied super fast. He hit a couple airs. He made it look good.
Yeah.
And the mood went way up at the face check kind of area because I mean, first of all, he skied great, which is really important for a forerunner. And you could just tell, even before he got on the radio for his feedback, you could see it. It was good, like proper good. And everyone was like, oh, this might be kind of on.
Right.
So yeah, it made a big difference.
So I don't know, it could have been on, but we'll talk about it. It wasn't, I would say, standing and watching this one, especially through like the men's category, it was a long slog.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't an easy watch. We didn't have as many like spectacular runs. We had a handful, as there always are. But it was one of those events where there were a lot of crashes.
Yeah, a lot of spectacular moments, but not full top to bottoms
Right.
that people were able to put together.
Yeah.
And it was long. There was the ski runners were put to work, man. They were like gathering people's equipment up, just like run after run after run. I was actually pretty impressed that they had enough of them.
I didn't even think about that. That just popped in my head as you brought that up. Is like, I wonder if they had to like. I remember at partway through they actually helicoptered up.
Yeah, I'm sure they were bumping ski runners back up because it's an hour and a half hike, so there's no way you're getting people back up there in time.
Right. Those ski runners. That's another thing we're gonna end up talking about. That's another little mini theme we're gonna discuss coming up. But yeah, it was. It wasn't the best comp ever. It wasn't terrible, but it was like sitting there watching. It was a long day. I remember. I think one of the FWT officials was like, "Hey, we're gonna." In the athletes meeting, like, hey, we're going to try and get it done in like 3 hours. It turned out to be like 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I think may have taken a bit of time is almost like the comp was split up into 2 sections. And there wasn't a ton of variation within it. There was like one little zone that you could go. And there was this like 30 to 60 second traverse in between the 2 sections. I was actually joking that you and Hadley would really have to come up with a lot of things to talk about.
Totally.
Just to fill space.
Filling the time there. Yeah. It was interesting when we first looked at it. We're like, whoa, that face is huge. Like we might see, 20 different variations. And then you get chatting with people during face check and everyone's like, yeah, I'm probably going to go over there and then ski down that side, go over there and ski down that side. And we're like, wow. Okay. Like the middle section, after really looking at it, that nobody, a couple people went into, it was tough. It was really convex. It was super rocky. It wasn't as steep. The takeoffs were really hard to find. So they had good reasons, but it did end up this giant face got completely compressed into
like this little funnel. Yeah.
Yeah.
A question for you about that. Is it a thing of that's just the natural best way that, like, if you look at a face, that's just the natural best way to do it? Or is it a fact that, like, maybe athletes are talking to each other and they're trying to figure out, oh, hey, maybe that's a good idea or that's a good idea, and everyone just kind of discusses and kind of coalesces in that same spot? Because there were different lines. Like, Abel had a crazy different line, but there weren't many.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it was, especially for comp skiing, I think that was the better way to go. It stayed steeper, it had more options, and the convexity in the area where a bell went, it was really rolly overy. So it's hard to see if you're on the right takeoff, when it just breaks away from you and you can't actually see off the edge. And because there were not a lot of landmarks in that area, there was a big concern that athletes were going to go the wrong way and just air off some of those rollers into rocks and things like that. So I think a little bit of both. I mean, there is some discussion, but a lot of riders keep their lines pretty close to their chest. So once, and I'm in a lucky position where a lot of different people talk to me and we have the understanding that I'm not going to share what other people are doing, but I'm listening. And then the only one that I'll really talk to about that stuff is Hadley. And everyone I talk to, bar a couple, like you said, you said Abel, Winter, Zoe was out of the zone a little bit, but otherwise it was pretty much everybody else went all the way across and down.
So when you hear that from these athletes and you're like, oh, Okay. Like what goes through your mind?
Well, exactly what you said. The like, oh, this is going to be really compressed. It looks like a huge face, but it's actually going to be kind of everybody on the same line. And that's just the nature of this sport. You know, they all are really good at scoping lines, and they all know how to find what they think is going to be fun to ski and what the judges are going to like. So they're all somewhat attracted to similar things, and that was the clear go-to zone. Now there were a lot of different ways to do it, which we certainly saw through the 4 categories. Like a lot of not so good ways. But in terms of just selecting where to go, it was pretty much that. Yeah, it seemed like the better way, and it seemed like there were more options in terms of like cliffs and airs to hit.
Yeah, and even though there were so many options, just so many riders, that it's almost like everybody kind of did the exact same route. But that happens a lot in freeride.
Yep.
Right? Just because you've got so many people and there's only so many options. All right, well, let's get into it, shall we? Do you want to get started off on Snowboard Men, just how we got going?
Yeah, I mean, the king is back in his castle. Man, Victor de la Rue put down an incredible run. He dropped switch out of the gate, had about a board length to set himself up, and then half cabbed off the top. Like we had a judging clinic the other day for the riders where they went through the entire process of this is how we judge, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, this is what we reward, this is what we penalize for. And we were, it wasn't super well attended. There were a few people around.
Shane Blue Sandblom actually told me that we had a conversation. He actually brought it up. He's like, "Yeah, we did a judging thing. It was really, really cool."
And Victor was in there. He had the most questions. He was really looking for intricate details. And one of the things they said is, we like when snowboarders go, like if you're going to go switch, do it for a reason. And if you're going to come back from switch, we like it better if you do it off an air than just sliding your board back around. So Victor listened to that. He really was taking notes. And we were sitting there being like, wow, the 4-time champ is the one asking all the questions, digging into the details. And then we watch his run and we're like, oh, this guy is a student of the sport.
Yeah, so let's get through his run. So he had that big straighter off the top and into a 360, straight 180, and then straight 180 revert, exactly what you just said. So he was like, okay, that's what you like, that's what I'm gonna do. So straight to the point. And then he snuck into one. So he was, I think, the second or third rider that went through. And I was wondering about that too. So the first men's snowboard rider, I believe, was
Remy Benamel.
Remy, yeah. So he had to basically put in the track across that huge traverse. I think Victor went like second or third, and ended up being able to sneak into that track to pick up a little bit of speed into that next section. And it's interesting too because we're going to talk about this one kind of little mini cliff band. I call it the day wrecker. I think you were calling it the doom
drop.
The doom drop.
It just, oh man,
the day wrecker, because it took out a lot of people, and there was a lot of people that just kind of hit off it. But he actually skied it a little different, right off of that little side shelf.
Yeah.
Right away, and I was like, okay, that's neat. But most people ended up just doing the straight bomb over the like lemming's leap over the edge. It's kind of like what it was.
Yeah, it totally was. And the way that Victor went got so much worse as it saw some traffic through it. It got really a lot of rocks exposed and stuff. But going early sometimes is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And I'd say he benefited from that a lot.
Oh, well, and also that shelf that he went to. Everyone that went through that shelf seemed to be okay. They found a nice line out. You could see their landing, and then he just blasted through the chute. It's aired through the chute at the bottom.
Yeah, really sniper.
Yeah.
Really, really precise. I like that move a lot because it shows that your scoping is on point, airing into that couloir because it's not very wide and you got to get right on the edge to get out of there. And he just did it so well. That was a well-deserved win for Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. And then next up, the guy you've been hyping up a lot this season that you've been really excited for, but we were bummed that he had a bit of a knee problem. Shane Blue Sandblom, second place. Same line as Cesar Baran, who had gone through right before him. Right at the top, it was neat. At the top, there was a couple features. You could do a double, and there was another little double. And I think one person hit it as a quad.
Yep.
It might have been Martin Bender. Well, I've got the notes. But anyways, so kind of a similar line. Did the big top, big double, 360. As he's going across, hyping himself up, Like, this guy's a character. Like, we need more characters on the Freeride World Tour. I'm glad that he's here.
Yeah, and that back three was sick. Like, he doing it off the second stage of a double. That was another thing that the judges talked about. They're like, we like it when you hit doubles. If you're tricking in or tricking out, it's even better because it's really hard, right? They're gonna throw points at things that are difficult to do, and that was exactly what I was hoping to see from Shane. That level of riding where he's got unbelievable technicality, but he's also adding the freestyle to it. It was so sick. And no doubt he was hyping himself up because he didn't ride great in Spain. He was in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is from him, not my take on it, although my take matches. It was just like, pretty mallet run, like not that sick and not what I was hoping.
Right.
And so for him to go into that double, boost a big three, and then, he was fired up.
And then moved on through and hucked a unreal backflip right into the day wrecker. And I'll tell you, that's one of the few backflips that actually were successful in that zone.
Maybe the only one?
It might have been the only one.
Yeah, it
really
was huge too. He went all the way to the bottom and just clean stomp. Like, it was such a good run. Then got through the very bottom section, just blasting through full throttle, full speed. That was a great run and truly what I was kind of expecting and hoping to see from Shane. And he was really pumped.
Right on.
Really pumped to just show everybody, right? You're riding on TV. You're in this big broadcast. It's a huge show. There's like a couple thousand fans out there watching, and all the riders on the tour. You come on as a rookie, nobody knows you. I mean, I guess the other North American riders knew him.
Yep.
But coming into this arena and then being able to show that you can hang here, not only hang here, but like the only one who can beat you on a day is a 4-time world champ. That's a pretty strong statement, and he was, I think, really, really happy to make it.
Yeah. So I actually talked to him in the finish corral, and I asked, hey, how did your run go? How did you feel? I told him that I didn't pick him for the fun bet because his knee. So we're going to play that right now for you guys. This is a fun little special clip. We're going to play that right now.
Yo.
Hey, congratulations, second place.
Thanks, Mark.
I will tell you that I didn't pick you in the fun bet. I was thinking about it, but you just finished second with a pretty significant knee injury. How is that feeling? How are you doing?
Dude, I was so hyped. It felt so good this morning. Yesterday it felt really bad because I kind of rode on it. I was feeling good like 2 days ago,
yep.
So it was like riding a little harder, and then yesterday I was like, ow. It really hurt.
Right.
So I rested hard yesterday, last night, a lot of ice, a lot of stretch. Today, this morning, warm-up laps felt really good. The hike definitely took a toll on it.
Yeah.
But like with the adrenaline and all the pressure and everything, like you just kind of forget about it. Mm-hmm. Didn't feel it in my run at all. Was riding the high so hard, and then like 15 minutes after I left the finish corral, it really hurts again.
Yeah, the adrenaline just decided to start mellowing out.
Yeah, I feel calm again, and now the knee is like. Ah.
So you're telling someone a minute ago about how you were feeling during the run. That didn't even feel like you were in a comp when you said.
Yeah, the snow on the venue is so sick right now. Like, I would love, this is just a sick place to ride for fun.
Yeah.
I'd be so happy to do that run for fun. I mean, obviously, I kind of I was in a little bit of a rush. I pulled up to the start gate, and I was had to drop it within 5 minutes, and so I didn't even have time to stress about my run. And then as soon as I got through my first air or two, I forgot I was competing.
Yeah.
In the back of my head, I always remember, but in the front of my head, I was like, oh, this is just sick. I'm just ripping. And then when I hit that backflip, I came around, and that's when I came around in the air, that's when the comp mindset kicked in of oh fuck, I'm going so big, I need to land this.
Yeah.
And if I had gone any quicker on that rotation, I wouldn't have had it. But the comp mind just kicked in midair, and I stomped it out, made my and then after that backflip, I just was like, all right, take a mini little air and get out of there.
You said another guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people going down today.
Yeah, a lot of people are going down.
It's almost, I think, for people that haven't gone yet, I think the strategy might just be to put a safe run down because you points, right?
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of people that have crashed today.
And definitely at this point for sure. And going into this contest, I honestly put a little too much pressure on myself coming off of a terrible result in Baquera. and I was like, dude, I need to win this one or do really well. And then like I talked to Holden, he was like, dude, you can make the cut with like 1 podium and 2 medium, like medium to even shitty finishes. I was like, you know what, you're right. And
he's definitely a guy to listen to on that, because he's over the last few years, he's really learned how to be a solid rider.
Right.
Like we were talking on the show that he was going maybe a little bit too big.
Oh yeah.
Dial it back 10-15%, and then you're going to be putting those runs down, and then it comes together for you,
more
right?
consistent results.
So he's a guy that's done the trial and error and then figured it out. So he's good to listen to. That's good advice.
Yeah, definitely. I've spent a lot of time with Holden, the America crew, of course, and him and I just, our brains work together pretty well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man. That was awesome.
Thank you. I'm so hyped.
Second place today.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. No sweat on missing me on the fun bet. I honestly, from a strategic point of view, I am not the good fun bet right now. So, happy to prove you wrong.
You just proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Congrats.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Shane. Gives you guys a little bit more information about his run, but also get to know him.
The guy. Yeah, this guy he's a special guy. He's a character and just like a ton of fun to be around. I really like Shane, and I'm stoked that he's like on the tour and throwing down and just kind of really marching to his own drum. It's sick. He's awesome.
Yeah. And then in third place, what better for a host mountain than to have 2 of your athletes on the podium?
Huge.
Enzo Nilo with another podium. Back when he got knocked off the tour, made his way back, he's really figured it out, and now he's fully established.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to your home resort where you won last year and then just backing that up with another podium finish, the crowd were going so ballistic for Enzo, and that's mental resilience, mental toughness, just leaning into the pressure and just handling it. And he rode like a boss. Like it was a really, really good run. Between the 3 guys, like 84.67 for Enzo, 87 for Shane, 90.67. So those were like far and away the best runs of the day in snowboard men. So it was cool to see that rewarded by the judges and with podium spots.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of characters, he's a character too.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. So yeah, second to drop that top air. I think was it Victor that sent it off that top air, like just straight out of the gate. 360 into the fall line and hit it as a triple. Before the traverse. It's funny, we saw it as a single, we saw it as a double, we saw it as a triple, and we saw it as a quad. So it was really cool to see how people approach that top kind of zone. And then went to the traverse, he just put his own line through there, and then kind of cruised through the day wrecker, and then bottom air through the chute.
Yeah, kind of same air as Victor at the bottom, like that really precise sniper takeoff where you have to be angled exactly right or you plow into the wall of the chute.
Right.
Had it perfect.
And those are probably 2 guys that actually do talk about their runs with each other, because you've got the teams, like those guys are buds.
They're good friends, and they scope together. And the first face check when there was a little riders meeting up at the judges position, we were looking all the way across the venue, and there's this like super airy perch way up high that looks down into the venue. And Enzo and Victor were up there instead of coming to the meeting. They already had kind of figured out like where the better place to look from was, and that they were going to be able to get the line of sight angles on some of those features.
And Victor said he never actually skied that line before.
Yeah.
He says he's been up there on his mountain bike.
Up there?
Yeah, I think he said he went up on his e-bike or something. He was talking about this the other day. Like
looks like pretty aggressive bike terrain.
Yeah, e-bike. He said there's like a route,
but it's like a mountain, like a wall.
Yeah. So he said he had never been up there, but it was neat chatting with him. I chatted with him at lunch one day, and because he's from here, and I asked him like, "Hey, do you like competing at home?" And he's like, kind of sheepish. He's like, yes and no. Right, he's like, my wife will let me stay at the hotel so I can kind of be involved in this. He's like, but I also got to get up and I go take my kid to school in the morning, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So he says it's kind of like 50-50. I'm sure he's fine with it now from another first place. But it's interesting. It was an interesting conversation with him about mindset and like how you kind of operate when you're on tour, your routine when you're like here. It's like I'm going to meetings. I know when I'm going to go to bed.
what I'm going to eat. I'm with the people that I'm doing that thing, but I also have my home life, and I've got my regular.
Yeah, he's trying to balance them in there. It can be a benefit. It can also be a bit of a distraction.
So he's got his routine, so it's like, which one do you pick and which part do you pick? But obviously it worked out for him, and it was interesting to hear him kind of say that. And I was asking him a bit about like Val Thorens and that sort of thing, and he's like, yeah, it's windy here.
Yeah.
It's windy, but fortunately it wasn't windy during the comp.
No, it was great. Every other day it was blasting wind, and it's windy again today, but yesterday was still and sunny. It was like...
I was asking, I don't know if it was him I was asking, but somebody asked if it's say a nice sunny wind, but it's windy, like does that make you double think if you're going for big airs or going for tricks?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
I mean, in mountain biking for sure, but I think in skiing and snowboarding, I don't think. Unless it's like a heavy crosswind and you're putting yourself like a sail against it, sideways to it.
Yeah.
But I don't. And I know for sure in slopestyle they consider that
big air and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But in freeride, it's not really a consideration. The main thing that the wind does is it affects your vision, right? When you're in the snow, and especially if it's blowing right back up the hill, it can make you disappear and lose sight. Which we saw some riders actually getting whited out in a powder cloud and unable to see where they were going. It's a good problem to have, honestly.
Yeah. So there's one other bit that we have to talk about within the Snowboard Men. Maybe controversial, maybe not. And that's Liam Rivera's run. So Liam was, he dropped like most of the way through the field, to be honest, like almost second to last in the field. So he ended up in the second start. He was cruising along the ridge, and he was actually going right by a little safety guy. And you're like, a little high five to the safety guy, which could have been a weird foreshadowing. So he went off and hit the clean double, and after the double, he wanted to cut hard left. I think heel side for him.
Yep.
Hard heel side, and he wants to come up as tight as he can, basically against the wall. And there's a boulder right there that you get right tied up, and then he's going to turn and then send a backflip off that next feature. What wasn't noticed on the broadcast, because it didn't really seem like a thing, is as he cut back, there was a ski dude right against the rock, kind of skis facing out. So if you go back and watch the clip, he had to basically...
He had to dodge the guy.
He had to dodge the guy. And he said it kind of put him off as he went in to go do his 360, and then was a little off kilter and ended up having to butt check. And to be honest with you, I think it just kind of rattled him.
For sure it did, yeah. And we had a chance to catch up with Liam to hear the story there, because it was that was a weird one, and it's got people talking. It's got people on the tour talking about how to do it better.
Yeah. So another little corral interview. So I actually went to talk to Liam, and I was like, "Hey, what happened there?" But he was pretty upset. But that's a Liam upset. Like my version of upset is like this. A Liam version of upset is like
pretty steady.
He's a pretty steady, pretty calm dude. He had his dad there with him. But I was like,
his dad is not calm. His dad is an absolute super fan.
Yeah, they were both though. They were both pretty cool. So I was like, hey, I'm going to give you a few minutes. And I chatted with the dad. I'm like, I'm going to give him a while, but I'd like to chat with him about it. So I said, hey, Liam, like we're going to talk about this. I'd love for you to give it your opinion, your thoughts, and your view of it now that you've had a few minutes to chill out, just from your own words, so we don't get any, we don't put any words in his mouth for him.
Yeah.
So we're gonna check that out right now. My chat with Liam about what happened there. All right, we got Liam Rivera.
Hello.
So you had a rough, not the greatest, smoothest run ever. What happened there?
Yeah, long story short, I had like a quick little double entry and then was gonna cut over to like a feature that me and some friends saw. That was, I thought, kind of secretive and thought kind of creative, so I was kind of keen on hitting that. It looked like a great takeoff. I had to really hug the wall on the rider's left to get to it, especially to get my right angle. So when I was coming into it, I didn't realize there was a ski dude in the way.
All right.
I was kind of like trying to tell him to move to the side or like go to the side, push to the side.
Just in the moment too.
Yeah.
Is he coming around the corner? You're like, oh, there's a guy there.
Exactly. Because like when I looked at the top from the top before my drop, he wasn't there. But obviously, as the comp goes, I guess some ski dudes got moved or he got into position at least.
Right.
And then so as soon as I dropped, I didn't realize it was in the way. So yeah, after my double, I looked to my next feature, which was that hit, and he was unfortunately ride where I wanted to take speed for it, and yeah, I kind of had. I mean, then I still chucked the 3 after kind of avoiding him as much as I could.
Did you go over his skis?
I didn't go over his skis, but it was quite close to.
Right. So you just basically had to like throw yourself off a little bit just to avoid him in order to get
exactly.
to your next spot.
And I think I didn't get the right angle as I would have wanted to for the 3.
Right.
But I don't know if it's actually that caused the crash. But at the same time, like I still think I could have landed. But at the same time, I was like, 2 seconds before the jump, I was still focused on not hitting the ski dude rather than actually focusing on my takeoff. So I feel like, it's just an unfortunate mistake. And I hope that in the future, I don't know, we can, as riders, the organizations can tell us where the ski dudes will be placed, so we can like tell them to move or something.
Like a kind of a positive, like what can we take away? What positive can we take away from this? How can we improve moving forward? Yeah,
so I'm
good way of looking at it. I know it's still fresh.
Yeah, it's still a bit annoying because like obviously after that I was like butt checked, and then I was like annoyed at butt checking, annoyed at the ski dude, and then I was just like, I don't know, chucking myself off of stuff and obviously still crashing.
Just a rage hucking.
But crashing more, which doesn't help. But
right.
Yeah, I'll try and get it together for the next one and try and learn from this, I guess, for everyone.
Right. Well, hey, thanks for sharing that. We saw it, and I don't know if they mentioned it on the broadcast or not. We didn't get a chance to listen to it, but. Yeah, definitely something to chat about, and thanks for your perspective on it. And I just wanted to find out like what happened there. And
no worries, thank you.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's your throwaway.
Yeah, got a throwaway.
Right, it's only the second one.
Exactly.
And we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Sweet. Okay, so that kind of gives you his perspective, positive outlook on it, and like you said. What can we do to make sure that never happens again? Like, hey, find out where these guys are going to stand, or get some more information from the tour about it.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a good chat with the judges and commissioners about it last night, and just kind of putting some ideas on the table for development, because nobody wants that to happen. So yeah, first of all, the riders need to know where the people are going to be. The tricky factor there is those ski dudes are moving throughout the day, throughout the comp, because if they get used high on the face and they only come down a third of the way or a quarter of the way, they're not going to burn them all the way to the bottom, right? They're going to repo them so that they can still be useful. And getting that info to the riders real time up to the start is tricky, but not impossible. So anyway, it is, it's in motion, essentially with the idea that that's something that should not happen again.
Yeah, good. So that's a bummer for him, but something positive can come out of it, right, moving forward. Okay, well, let's move on to Snowboard Women. In number 1, first place, the new queen is reestablished herself. She's also a local. So 3 local athletes from Val Thorens on the podium.
Huge day for the zone. Yeah,
come on,
unreal.
They've got to be loving life in that tourism office right now, right? So Naomi Aki in first place. She came out of gate 1, big air, really good second air, and then she hit the double, kind of through the day wrecker. So she kind of went around the corner and then a little pop. Didn't launch into it. Was smart to kind of cruise in, go slow. And, just had a really, really solid run.
Yeah, she cooked. She rode really fast. She didn't let any features go. You can really see, like, I know her and Anna are kind of students of Marion Erti. Not students, but they're proteges, say. And one of the things that always stood out with Marion's riding, and you see it with Noemi, she doesn't leave features. She doesn't go past things that she could hit. And that was another big thing from the judges clinic. If you're going by features that they feel you could have used, then that's affecting your score. Your line score is coming down because they're seeing obvious things. She never skips anything. If it's doable, obviously it has to match in her line and her turn shape and everything, but I think it's so fun to watch. And it's often really clear to see that the difference that makes when you're not just going by things, you're using them, pumping off stuff. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but she's using the full potential of the face, and I mean, it works. It's working. She's back in the mix, you know, after a tough crash in Spain, back on top of the podium. And it's quite exciting where Snowboard Women is at right now.
Do you know what? This is, you know, like I used to say a few years ago, where Ski Women was one of my favorite events because they were just kind of pushing the limit. Everybody was doing something new every event, and all these new riders were really stepping it up. And I think we finally reached that point here with Snowboard Women, where it looks like, okay, we're kind of advancing into another stage, another level.
Yeah, and we're seeing it on both sides. We're seeing it on the top of the podium, but we're also seeing it down in the crashers where people are sending it. Natalie Allport is one where, man,
Yeah.
if she puts one of these runs, we've seen two really, really stellar runs from Natalie that have come apart because she just goes absolutely ballistic. But from a fan perspective, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think for the rest of the women in the field, when they're watching that, they're like, okay, like we know when she gets one of these down, that's going to be a winning run.
Yeah.
So everybody has to step up. The safety runs are starting to not really work out so well anymore because it's risky to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, her and Mia, right? So the two rookies are really, I think, kind of pushing.
Yeah, elevating the crew.
And then, like, what is it? Last year or 2 years ago was Noemi and Anna, and like, hey, this is
what we're doing now.
This is what we're doing now. So congratulations to Noemi winning at home. And I think we can say it now, a classic Noemi line.
Yep.
Like, she's been here long enough. She's won, 6 events in the last 2 years?
In 2 years.
So good for her. Then next up we had Anna Martinez with another big first air at the second, at the beginning. And then the second air, she totally got white roomed, which is what I'm all about. I've said this all the time. I just absolutely love it. When the athletes have fun and like slash pow turns or like get pitted.
It looks so fun.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And you know, it's got to be fun too. You're like, okay, great, we get to do a comp in pow rather than like crazy hard pack.
Yeah.
You know? But sometimes, as we've seen, potentially even this time, it can be a problem.
Well, it's tricky for sure. Yeah,
But
it's a little less predictable.
But it looks good for us.
Yeah, and it's the best kind of tricky for sure. You'd rather have that by far.
So then she kind of moved forward into the second zone. She actually hit a third air in that top section. Lower section, a brand new line into the rollover, through the pow again, with really solid technical turns, really comfortable turns, and just a nice little air out the bottom chute.
Yep.
Just perfect. Really great run. Really solid.
I will say, I think for Anna, that second place was a bit of a result of some of the other riders below her. More so, it was solid, but there were more spectacular runs that just had issues that for sure would have been.
That's a good point. There was really nothing spectacular.
It was
about
steady
her run.
Eddie.
Steady Eddie, but look where it gets you.
Oh yeah, no, don't take nothing away from it.
And it's not a safe run, like you just mentioned. I don't think it was one of those safe runs.
Yeah.
I think it was just a really solid, consistent run that you got down, but nothing. There wasn't anything in there that would have been a highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly. And there, I got to give Anna credit because there is some strategy to this sport. And when you're seeing some of the girls that are really sending blow up, then you can take your A and go, okay, I'm going to actually do A- here and get down on my feet and be in second place and rocket up the overall, because everybody wants to be standing on that overall podium at the end of the season in Verbier as well.
Right.
And so a podium performance here, she's got 2 podiums now in the season. So she's stood, you know, she's moved up the rankings, and it's smart, like it's smart riding. And so one of the people that we're going to talk about next is one of those that I was mentioning, Mia Jones. Her and Noemi, I think, are gonna have a fantastic battle this year. Mia, right out of the gate, was the only woman to take on that air that Victor and Enzo took, where
right at the front.
no time. Out of start 1, you have 1 board length, and then you're 20 feet in the air. And Mia said it was an absolute last second call to do it. Like, I was talking to her brother Cass last night, and he said that, you know, they were like standing at the bottom with binoculars looking at start 2 and being like, what the heck? Like, where is she? She's supposed to be. And then, you know, they hear the announcer be like, oh, Mia dropping. Oh, she's down. And then they swerve over to start 1, and she's already eaten it because she just completely changed her plan at the last second because she saw Victor and Enzo do it. And we're like, hell yeah, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
So sick.
And I think she just went maybe a fraction too slow or didn't quite get enough pop because she just hit like a just clipped her tail.
Yeah, and she said she got caught on a little something at the takeoff because she didn't properly scope it, and she owned it completely. You know, yesterday afternoon, she's like, I didn't put anywhere near the time into that I should have because I just changed my mind super last minute and was like, I'll cruise over to start one.
That's almost when like the naivete of being a rookie, of the inexperience, helps. Because you were like, oh, I'm just going to go for it. And it worked out. She made it, you know, she got through. She had a great...
the rest of her run was unreal.
She recovered.
That was a winning run, for sure.
She recovered great with a big second air, and she was smooth into that day record cliff. And then she had really technical board control through the chute, and like just a phenomenal recovery. So that's just, you know, proof. If you screw up, just keep going.
Yeah, because you can be on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. So... good for her, but like I said, you know, I'm going to change my lap. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, she doesn't make that change.
Yeah, or she's looking at
Or
the
she's
bigger
already
stuff. She's looking at the bigger stuff as plan A and not like doubting herself. And the benefit that Mia had coming into this was she already had a win. Mm-hmm. So she said, I talked to her the day before the comp, and she said, I feel like really loose and free because with a win, I'm in a pretty good spot to make the cut already. You know, the points are high, 10,000 points for a win. So I was like, so are you just saying you can go like off the leash? She's like, kind of, yeah. I'm not really worried about any kind of strategy. I just want to do something awesome. I was like, oh my God, like the rest of the girls are gonna be like, shit. Like, okay.
She's so perfect for it here, right?
Yeah, no, it's a super cool mindset to have, and she's pretty young. And I thought that was a really mature outlook of like, okay, well now I can just do me, and that makes champions, that kind of mindset where you strategize where you need to, and then you let yourself completely off the chain when you can, and you have the ability to do that. And she was like, oh, look, I got away with that. Like I had a full crash and I'm still on the podium, but I was like, yeah, you got away with it because you're good at this. And the rest of the run was like excellent.
It's great. I'm really interested in having a chat with her, just to kind of figure out what's going on in her brain and her mindset, and how much of that, I guess, not approach to competition, but just approach to snowboarding, she's been able to glean from her family. Like she's got probably the most famous snowboarder as a dad ever. Like we were in and without having to bring up, you know, she's her own person, she's making her own way. But it's great that he's here, you know, for a little bit of coaching and stuff. But he is Jeremy Jones for a reason, right? Like,
yeah.
he was, you know, when she was on the podium, I was sitting there. He was right there, big goofy smile on his head, a happy parent, filming her on the podium. And then there was a woman next to him, clutching her snowboard with like tears in her eyes, freaking out because she was standing next to Jeremy Jones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he kind of walked away, and she was like, "Oh my God, Jeremy!" I'm like, "Just say hi to him. He's a nice guy."
Yeah, he's here as a Freeride dad.
He's like, just go say hello. But like, so it's really interesting. I'd like to chat and kind of figure out how because it's her dad, right? It's not Jeremy Jones. It's like, Dad, leave me alone. You know. So I'd like to kind of see how that works with her and the family, and you know, she's probably got a lot of great stuff about snowboarding from him. But also, hey, I'm here to do my own thing.
She gives a ton of credit to her brother, too. Her younger brother, Cass, is, you know, he's a North American junior freeride champion at snowboarding. He is...
I didn't know he's a champion.
Oh, yeah, he is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like, he is a super strong rider, and the two of them ride together a lot.
Is he going to be on the tour, or is he trying to make it to the tour?
Well, he's only 17.
Oh, but I mean, like, he's going to work towards...
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
he's
obviously...
got another juniors to do.
Yeah, you're 17 years old, so you got a lot of different directions that, especially when you're 17 and awesome, could go in a lot of different ways. But I think he's pretty all in on freeride.
They're pretty stable with their board sponsor, too, I bet. Hey?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, riding for Jones boards, that one's not changing. I'm sure the contract renegotiations are pretty easy.
Yeah. What are the deliverables? It's probably like, you know, you got to do this many Instagram posts. You might have to make sure that the dishwasher.
You got to clean your room and take out the garbage.
Empty out the dishwasher. Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm stoked on Snowboard Women this year, as we said. We'll just have to wait to see Natalie Alport put down a run, because she looks like she's so aggressive. Maybe it's something similar to what we were talking about Holden when he first started. Dial it back 10-15%. Keep doing what you're doing, and then you'll see. Yeah,
exactly. Take a couple of seconds and thirds instead of just like firing for a 20-point win in every comp.
Got to respect the Sandblom.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love watching Natalie ride. Yeah, it's sick. She's going for it full throttle. But I also would really like her not to get cut.
Right.
So she's going to have to land a couple runs here coming into the next 2 comps.
Right. Okay, so next up, ski men. So we've had a couple pretty disastrous ski men competitions in the past with like multiple crashes. This one was no different. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 no scores.
Yeah, I mean,
Seven-
it was
7 no scores, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys who crashed.
yeah,
So 13
out of 22.
13 runs out of 22 that had some sort of a crash or a ski pop off. A lot of them were on that the lower section, the day record cliff.
Yeah.
And as I was watching it, I kept a tally, and I realized it was almost exclusively the skiers that backflipped it.
Yeah, that we're crashing.
Yeah, skiers that went upside down. Obviously, Toby didn't do a backflip. He did a cork 720 to the parking lot, which was awesome. But sure enough, didn't work out. The 360s seemed to work on it.
Yep.
So looking at here, I'll just go through. So the second level, we were watching this, and I'm like, oh, this is a rough watch. Just guy after guy after guy, and then like we alluded to at the beginning of this episode. So I wrote 360 might be a better option. Jack Kolish had a great floaty 360F. Joey, who sat in that hot seat for a long time. We'll get to him in a minute. Martin Bender had a great spin off that. Valley had a good spin off that. And then Ben Richards as well. He's the last guy to go. So I didn't ask or find out who was actually watching or who wasn't watching. Because a lot of the information, like a lot of dudes were backflipping and crashing. You'd think, well, maybe I'll switch it up. So I don't know if any of them actually did. The guys I just mentioned. If they
Yeah,
switched-
who did a 360 instead of a backflip.
Yeah, I'd be interesting to learn that. But the crashes on there were like, for snowboarders, Holden, Liam, Michaela, Christopher Trudell, Paul DePortolay, Finn, Carl, Leo, Lachlan, Toby. Like it was a
It was a disaster.
It was like,
honestly.
what was it? Smashed in head smashed
head
in
smashed in Buffalo jump. Yeah,
jump.
exactly. Just one after another.
For those that don't know what that is, it's a place in Alberta where the native Indians used to like funnel a herd of buffalo and they just run off the edge. Just
Yeah, and then they'd gather all the stuff down below.
yeah.
Pretty clever. Kind of mean, but it did work. Yeah, it was nuts, like watching every one of them. And we had, in one of the long holds while we were waiting for somebody to collect their gear, we took an interview with Timo, because he was in the hot seat before Joey was. And he said the lip was way kickier than they thought it was going to be from inspection. I mean, that thing is on the uphill side of a flat deck. So the only look they had at it was from drones. And they thought it was just going to be a straight ledge, flat. And they were all really worried about speed, that they wouldn't have enough, which turned out to be the exact opposite.
Right.
And so he said coming in, he was like, oh, I feel like I'm going way too slow. And then he tossed his flip, and it was like, oh my God, the tide's going out on this landing so fast. Joey Leonardo said the same thing on his 360. He said he got around to 180, so backwards in the air, and was kind of looking down like through his legs, and was like, I don't have this. Like I'm way, way too high in the air. But I think the main factor was when you come out of a backflip, really plummeting down, you have that back rotation still in play. So even if you're over your feet, that rotation doesn't go anywhere. Physics exists, right? And so you get throttled into the back seat, where on a 360 you can stay over your feet. And Joey said straight up, he's like, the only thing that kept me up was blasting my face off my knee.
Oh, he hit his knee off his face?
Oh, yeah. He sat in the hot seat for that whole time with a big block of ice on his cheek because he kneed himself in the face so hard. And he's like, that popped me back up to vertical, and I was able to ski out, and it was like, whoa. Like, I mean, Joey's a great storyteller. He's so funny. He's super animated.
I didn't know that. I was kind of down there cruising around doing interviews.
Yeah,
and, like,
he took a
chatting with
knee.
people.
He took a
wow.
knee to face hard, and he said it literally like popped him back to standing.
Saved his run.
Kinda.
That's
yeah.
that's using your face.
Yeah, exactly. Really using your head. But it was like almost, it seemed like it was almost impossible to land a flip, and they all thought they were going too slow coming into it, and then just like they didn't think they were going to have enough speed, so they didn't slow down. They didn't
Right.
really speed check, and then they just took it so far.
All right, well, let's get into the top three. Ben Richards, 2 weeks in a row. He's always been like, always proven that he's been one of the best riders, and now he's just like, okay, now is this his moment in time?
Yes, categorically yes. Ben was waiting up there forever. He was the last guy to go, and then his run was so picture perfect.
Oh, yeah.
His top section was like really bold, spinning into that double, and then instead of taking the lower stage as a double, just taking that setback upper takeoff and boosting over the entire shelf at speed.
Yeah.
And then the ability to just like get on that right foot, carve around, standing over the ski, and he makes it look easy. And we, like anybody who's a good skier or even like an experienced skier, knows how not easy that is to do.
Yeah.
So that balance, that ability to just stay on the ski, rail over to that next big fall away thing, that lock and Ross hit, and just punt off there. And then, I mean, I think I said it in the broadcast, but full credit to Ben for recognizing that lip was kicky.
Well, yeah, because he went through and like my notes here is like no pop. He just basically like he did last week, where he just sucked up.
He pulls his feet up and goes for a hand drag 3.
Yeah.
So then the trajectory works. He doesn't go out and down. He follows a flight path that actually reconnects with the ground instead of plowing into the ground.
Same thing he did last week in that while he was bombing fall line, instead of jumping off the thing, he just sucked his feet up.
Yeah, and it allows him a couple of things. He doesn't have to slow down as much because he's not going to go up, and it allows him to hit the sweet spot in the landing instead of landing, because the speed he was going, if he popped, he would have landed where Toby and Finn landed, way down at the. It was perfect.
Yeah, really cool. And then like Hadley just was saying as he started, like just his style is smooth, warm knife, like a warm knife through butter. And she said like rarely makes more than 6 turns per venue, which is true. And also give credit to Hadley, who actually noticed the hand drag on the broadcast. And then when they came back and showed the drone footage. I'm like, that was sick.
It was so cool. Yeah, he did it so well. And like a huge shout out to Kiwi Snow Sports. Right now, they just took their first ever Freeride junior world title. They took half pipe at X Games. Ben Richards, 2 in a row. Like the Kiwis are on right now, and it's so much fun to see because it's a real small community, snow sports community in New Zealand, but they are just producing world-class athletes non-stop in so many different disciplines, and I love. I mean, obviously, I want Canadians to be killing it, but I'm loving seeing the Kiwis just thrive.
They might be moving right up behind rugby as like a national sport.
Yeah, and snow sports for sure.
Pretty soon, hey. And then the guy we were talking about, Joey Leonardo, he dropped in 6th and ended up sitting in that hot seat till the very last rider. He got into the start, popping a big air into that double. And then into a double, and then a half turn, and then into a triple. It had a little floaty backflip off of that other last feature on the top section.
Yep.
Another big air, slashed a pow turn, which I thought was great. I love that. And then big lofty 360 over the day record. That, which, like we said, it's proved to be the key. Everyone who backflipped it ate it. Everybody spun it. Seemed to be just fine. And then he had a rad fall line double through the chute at the bottom. I think he sat in the hot seat for like 15 riders.
Yeah, for so long.
Which has got to be
and
like...
so many big names, heavy hitters of the sport. And he's a rookie in his 2nd ever tour comp. And just watching...
watching people explode.
Yeah, good skier after good skier just blow themselves up.
So he's probably thinking, I'm like, all right, we're down to the last rider. He's like, oh, is it Ben?
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one to have last.
Right,
he's probably not going to crash. Ben doesn't crash very much.
No. And then in 3rd place, Boss Ross Tester. Kind of does what he does, man. He kind of, he dances into that double, into the 360. Like, basically dances into that double, into a 360 double gap, and then massive transfer, that kind of little section there where a lot of people kind of skied around. He just floated over that thing. And then as he was cruising across the traverse, do you see him lean back
Yeah, just like,
wheelie across.
tail riding.
Yeah, tail riding, wheelie across it. I was like, yeah, there we go. A little bit more of that. And then another big pow slash, like as he was cruising in. And of course, 360 off of the day wrecker. And then finished over the chute with a big air, like a new angle into the chute too, which is bigger, which probably helped. That right there could have been a reason why he's on the podium. Just a slightly different line angle or line choice through that chute.
Yeah, big air, precise landing. Perfect. I mean, Ross is built for this. His technique is unbelievable. He's super bold with his line choices. He's incredible in the air. The style is like just oozing out of him. Everything about Ross is like perfect for the sport of skiing.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Like every single day, he's up there just firing off laps, getting into gnarly situations, doing huge tricks. He's just like head over heels in love with skiing. And it shows when you watch him ski, you're like, oh, this guy's having fun. And that's fun to watch. And, you know, at its core, this sport is like you're asking other people to watch you do your thing and then tell you how cool it is compared to what your friends did. Really, that's the whole thing. And he's just like, every time you watch him ski, you're like, oh, yeah. You know, it gets you fired up.
I learned something about Ross today too. So I saw him in the lobby. He was wearing his headphones on his head. I'm like, oh yeah, because I love learning about new music, and I'm always curious. Hey, what are you listening to? Like, what's getting you fired up? And he's like showing me his Spotify playlist, that sort of thing. And I'm like, what are you listening to? Like, what's getting you fired up? Like, he's like, actually, when I'm at the top, I put on like my most mellow songs. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. When I'm standing in the start gate, I'm not putting something that fires me up. I'm getting fired up like riding around beforehand, and then when I get up to the top, I put on like my mellowest song. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it just kind of like calms me and just sets my focus, and then here I go.
So this is a guy who understands his own mental process. You know, we go through that in junior freeride coaching where some riders, you know, some athletes needs to get really jazzed up. You need to get them into that like almost frothing zone, and others you need to bring them way down, you know, because they just have the tendency to overcook and just like over action things. So yeah, that's really cool. That's good insight because Ross has figured out his own process and knows exactly what to do to put himself in the mindset that allows him to go and do like seriously the most radical shit in the world.
Most radical shit in the world.
It's awesome. I love that. I mean, you know, there is. And I think it's going away a little bit, but there is like an external view, say maybe in the alpine ski racing world and from outside of this sport, that it's like reckless wingnuts just flinging themselves off cliffs. And so when you see athletes like that and I get it from an outside perspective, what it looks like compared to what it is not necessarily the same. But hearing and learning that these athletes they're taking their process and all of their pre-comp routine stuff really seriously to find the exact right sweet spot for them to perform to their best. And it can be, you know, it's super personal, right? What that needs to look like. So yeah, I think that's pretty pro.
Do you know if many of the athletes are like superstitious with like right boot first or like any kind of weird like, you know, like major league sports, you hear a lot of stuff like that.
There's stuff like that for sure. You got to put the ski on first, or your skis have to be the right way, or you got to wear the long underwear or the ski socks or whatever. Right, it's lurking out there. Not everybody.
You got the specific thing in that one pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. There's a couple other things I want to talk about in ski men. Let's go. We went 1, 2, 3. Let's go 4. Max Hitzig, kind of 2 weeks in a row, 4th place. It was actually funny because I was standing. So if you watched the last episode we did. And I had that little conversation with Max and Valley. I don't remember if it was on the interview or not. But I asked him, I'm like, hey, and he said, I don't want to be the Freeride robot anymore. He wants to like ski some more, like do some more POW and stuff like that. So I saw him at the bottom. And I was like, hey, good run. He's like, yo, I got this. Do you see me slash that POW? And I'm like, that was so fun. Like, it's the first thing he said. He saw me and he came over. He's like, I slashed that POW. It was awesome. And then I said to him, and then you went and hit the next air, like the Freeride robot. I'm like, wait, if I can balance it out. Like, really, really cool. So he skied like he did, but he actually added a little bit more flair to his run.
I love this guy, man. I love how he skis. I love his attitude.
Yeah.
I love spending time with him. He's like... whatever, I mean, we nicknamed him that, and it was like a look, but his personality is
not robotic
at
No,
all,
no,
like
no.
at all. He's so much fun. He's always smiling,
Yeah.
and he is like so pumped to be back with the tour family
Yeah.
and rat packing around with the with the huge crew of like all the men and women that are just like unbelievable at this, and they all inspire each other, right? Like they're skiing out and Joey does a front flip off something and Max is like, oh, I think I could probably like left three, whatever. It's just so sick to, and he said like over and over how pumped he is to just be back in the mix with this group of people.
And just to add to his like personality, that like we say, we call him the Freeride robot. He's very German, but that's just because he's tight and that's how
Strong,
he skis, right?
like, unbelievably
so like
strong.
You said, first thing he said to me comes over, he's like, oh, I smashed the pal. But also, I was standing next to him when Ben Richards went because he was sitting in third place. He's like, oh, I might actually get the podium. I actually picked him on the podium for fun bet. I'm like, I got you on fun bet, right? As soon as Ben crossed the finish line, he goes, well, it looks like I'm fourth again. And then he walked away. And it wasn't, they didn't
Before the score even dropped,
Before the score,
knew,
yeah.
he
He's
knew.
like, oh, it looks like I'm fourth place again. And then he turned around and walked away. I was kind of laughing at that. So another little quick thing a little moment I wanted to talk about was Kelly Hillicky and that front flip right off the beginning, a la like Ross Tester. That was very Ross Testery.
Yeah, that's Kelly. Kelly, man, this guy is so unbelievably talented. And in the morning, so he did that. That morning, we're sitting in the boot room, getting geared up, and he's like, yeah, I need to take it like way chill because I've got to crash. I need just a finish here, something in the top 10 just so I can get through the cut. So I'm going to just take it way chill. And then a 1/10 of a second into his run, he pumps a front flip off the very first cliff and then just goes 90,000 miles an hour off the biggest rock face on the entire venue out into the flats.
Massive, yeah.
Like, what?
And then rolled through the rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, good kudos to him. So that's another guy I'm just going to keep my eye on. And
oh, he has it. Kelly's got it to win one of these events. I mean, you can apply that statement to every one of the riders in the field, but he has the little spark, the magic dust that is the combo of incredible skiing, like a deep bag of tricks, a willingness to send. But he kind of reminds me right now of Wei Tian Ho last year, where he's got a couple of big crashes. Everybody knows that it's there.
Yeah.
And Wei Tian last season in Georgia did what was for him an out of characterly mellow run and got 8th and was like, okay, now I'm above the cut.
Yeah.
And Kelly kind of knows. And what's funny is that huge air that he crashed on, he talked to like 17 people about it, and every single one of them were like, it doesn't go, it's too flat. And he's like, yeah, cool, thanks, man. And then,
I'll decide.
But I can do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, I don't want to take anything away from Kelly because the top of the run was spectacular. His skiing is unbelievable, and you got to believe in yourself. And I think this was maybe the defining factor, without putting words into his mouth. We didn't have a clear day scoping to really be able to see the angles, to see how
It was
flat.
so flat.
The light was so flat.
on both the scoping days. Yeah.
Yeah. There's 2 more guys that I just want to mention because to me they were really heartbreaking. Oscar Mandin and Martin Bender.
Yeah.
Both of those guys on really good runs and just skis getting caught and taken by the rocks. Oscar's was actually kind of terrifying. I don't know if you could see from the bottom, but his ski took off and went all the way to the edge of the cliff that Kelly hit. And so they're not going to send a ski runner in there. So he had to ski down above this humongous cliff with one ski, and then he had to take his ski off and down climb to the very edge of it to retrieve the other ski. Like watching from the drone angle of how like that ski was on the lip, like stuck in the snow.
Yeah, so like I was down in the finish corral watching that, and they're like, oh, Oscar went down. I'm like, where is he? He's like, he's right there. I'm like, where? And we were talking for like, this girl was trying to show me for like 2 minutes where he was, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's an impossible place, a ridiculous place to look.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
I'm not gonna look there because there's no way
can't
he's
be there.
Yeah, there's zero chance that he's there.
Yeah, and then Bender, holy, like he had such a good run going. He threed over the setback exact takeoff out of the double, the same one that that Ben did, except he three'd off the second step, like that huge gap, landed it great, was nuking out. It's such a good run. And then just
full speed attack, I think that's what you guys were saying.
And then got into the lower section. All he had to do was just go pop, pop off the double, and the rock just took his ski. And it was off, like it was over before you knew what was happening. And it was so sad because his run, I mean, Martin Bender is unbelievable, right? He's one of the top dogs in the sport. And to just have it like, you know, the guys that exploded doing something cool, like good enough. You tried and it didn't work.
On the day record, yeah, sure, you went for it. You're like, you know.
And
like,
you can stand proud.
Yeah.
Wade Tan and Marcus crashing up high. Like you tried something cool and you bailed. But having a rock just take your ski off like that it's just hard to swallow.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's really tough. So that's the ski men. Tough day for the ski men. And then we go into ski women. A note that I made is it was a little more free ride, even more so than normal. I had actually written there was only 2 tricks, but I realized there were 3.
Yeah, Zoe did a 3.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty amazing person to top the podium. We were talking about Agustina. We were talking about how crazy the Argentinians are for her being here, how much support she has, how fired up they are. And for her to pull this off, holy cow, they were losing their minds down there.
Yeah, Gonza and Nacho, the two guys that run Freeride Argentina, are here. You know, her coach and boyfriend Maddie.
He sent me a DM today. I posted them carrying her to the podium.
Yeah, cheering her up to the podium.
And he's like, "Hey, is this Derek?" I'm like, "No, it's Mark." He's like, "Send me that, please. Send me that. Can I use it?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, absolutely."
Yeah.
He's so fired up.
Like, so it was a huge deal that Agustina made it to the Freeride World Tour.
Right.
Just being here. She's the first Argentinian woman on the tour. Then she's almost on the podium in the first event. Right? Everyone's like, oh my God, we're like exceeding expectations by a mile. Winning the second event and now in the golden bib, the like carpet that's rolling out of possibilities, could she be world champion?
She's going to be on the front page of the newspapers.
Oh yeah. And the kids in the Argentinian freeride community are going to be like this is like game changing for the entire Argentinian freeride and snow sport community.
It's a huge growth moment.
Oh yeah,
right?
Because there's eyes on, right? Even the Argentinian Snow Sports Federation is like, Gonza yesterday was like, we're hearing from them. They're like, look at that, like this is on the world stage at the elite level. She's winning an event and she's in the golden bib, like huge.
Recognition.
Absolutely huge.
Recognition breeds influence, which also then brings in the money.
Yeah, exactly. And growth and more athletes, which I guess ultimately just always comes down to money.
Yeah.
But that's a community that needs some uplift, and no better way to do it than an athlete just stepping up and just being like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll carry this whole thing.
Yeah, sign me up, bro. So she went right off the nose off that first drop, which I really like that line. Just a big drop right off the start. Full gas through the double. Like she was giving her. And then straight into, she actually went around the day wrecker. I don't know if she probably heard about what was happening or just...
or she just planned that. A few of the snowboarders went that way and it worked great. Like the angles were just a bit better over there. And the airs aren't as big, but Ago wasn't looking to pump a backflip off that day wrecker anyway. So finding a way that she could get still a big air, and the way she took that cross court got her to the next air. She got 2 features where most people only got 1.
Yeah. And
brilliant scoping.
And it was the fastest of the ladies so far. And she dropped what? 5 or 6, yeah. She dropped like 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She dropped 8th.
Yeah.
So definitely stood above the rest. And top spot. So congratulations, another rookie.
Huge.
Another rookie win.
Yeah.
Like this is the year of the rookies. It seems like they always do Rookie of the Year awards at the end of the year, and like it's gonna be tough, even after 2 events. Like I didn't count, but I think there was another 3 or 4 rookies on the podiums today.
Yeah, so the Rookie of the Year for men and women is the highest placed athlete in the category.
Okay.
So if we have multiple rookies winning the title, like it's going to get complicated. They might have to expand the award,
or it's just become that much more valuable. right? More prestigious because it's like, oh, look, I beat out this person that's on 3 podiums.
While we're on this, and before we drop into our second place finisher, I think I just want to mention in the ski women's standings, every single tour rookie right now is above the cut, and every single person below the cut is a tour veteran. That is unheard of. It's insane. Like we've got Lou Barin, Winter McBride, Zoe Del Zoppo, and obviously Augustina in first, all above the cut, and then Zuza, Jenna, Lena, Molly, and Astrid all below the cut. Like if you told me that at the start of the year that that's where we would be after 2 events, I would be like, no shot. Like all those big dogs down below the cut line, and every single tour rookie, like I can't even remember a season where every rookie requalified. Now we're only 2 events in, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
There's still 5 more to go.
Yeah.
Or 4 more to go because the World Champs is a little different.
Yeah, so 2 more before the cut.
2 more before the cut, and like so that's crazy.
Yeah,
but also really exciting.
It's sick.
Yeah,
I
really,
mean
really
the
cool.
new blood is coming in, and they're showing like tour ready is a phrase that gets tossed around a lot in the freeride world. Are they? Aren't they? Will they? Won't? Whatever. Pretty clear that all of these rookies, every rookie now I think has stood on the podium. Yep, every rookie has a podium, and we're 2 comps in.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Second place, we have Sybille Blanjean returns to the tour after an injury last year with a really great classic Sybille. She got to feel good after this one. I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but a great air at the top and a little small air, and then a good fall line cliff stomp. She is a good 4-point stomper.
Yep.
That's something I when I saw that, I'm like, oh, right, that's what she does.
Yeah.
Right? Watching those events when she won Verbier that season, whenever she's always really well positioned over her skis off big
She's
drops.
so coordinated. Yeah, she's coordinated and she's strong. Hadley had a really good point in the broadcast that Sybille had a whole year off for injury. So the whole time that everyone else was like beating the crap out of their bodies skiing, Sybille was working on hers. She looks strong, like physically strong, just watching her ski. And she said to me on right after the Forerunners went, I was like, how you feeling? Like physically, the first comp was like, okay. She's like, yeah, I kind of went out in that first event feeling it out, like, can I do this again? Where am I at? Like a bit of a litmus test. And she said at the end, and she had an okay finish in the first event. She said, I felt like I had another 50%. She's like, it felt super easy and like all just felt a bit too slow and a bit too small. And she's like, I got way more than that. So to see her come back now, event 2, and she's a physiotherapist, right? She knows the human body really well. So she can, and obviously like sometimes doctors and stuff are like the worst with their own health. But I think, Sybille knowing like, okay, I'm good. Like I have this again. I can go back to the way I normally ride, which like you said is high speed, big sends and clean stomps. Like she doesn't get tossed around that much. And now she's a full year of training stronger. I'm stoked to see her back on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. So then she actually went around. She hit that little windlip air too, which is different. It was that almost like a little mini mid-mountain cornice feature sort of thing, and no one really hit that. So she hit that and then went around the day wrecker. She went, I think, right after Winter.
Yeah, and she took it fall line off the nose, where Winter and Augustina took it cross court. And they both worked really well. I don't know, visually I really liked the cross court. It just and we'll get into Winter's run, but there was a piece that worked there for Winter that I really liked. That by going cross court, she was able to get like a totally locked in safety grab off it, which is way harder when you go fall line off the nose of a cliff.
Yeah. Sybille, and then she pointed it out the chute with a huge carve right out of the bottom to make it look good. So congrats to Sybille and welcome back to the tour. And then Winter McBride, who got the Freeride Guide bump. She was also on the show last week, and we had a really nice conversation. As we told you earlier in the season, I think it was the athletes episode, where if you haven't listened to that, if you're just finding us, we have a full episode where we give a little summary and a little backstory to every single athlete on the tour, especially the rookies and wildcards. It's helpful this year it's helpful because you got to know who's winning all these events.
Yeah, exactly. They're players.
So I asked her about what was going on with working for the IFSA. And we had a really lovely conversation. Give her the little Freeride Guide bump. But what a great run from her as well. Nice top air, but she actually went through this little peppery zone where she actually slowed it down. Instead of just being like, oh, I got to keep going and blast through something. She's like, no, I'm just going to ski to the conditions, right? And then another little drop, pop off the transfer, and then she tucked across the traverse, which I liked.
Yeah, bit of a shout out to Virgil Didier, who's out for the season. He was like the master of that last year. Every time there was a flat section, he was into a tuck. I love it.
Boom. And then finished with another little cross court. She went. We just talked about Sibyl.
Yep.
She went underneath the day wrecker, hit it little cross court air, and then with a little, like you said, with the grab.
Yeah.
She had a slight little bobble in the chute, which probably, I think,
Might have been the difference maker between her and Sibyl because it was pretty close.
still like 2.3 points. So it might have been,
Yeah, a little control dock.
who knows? It may have put her down from 2 to 3. Who knows?
Whatever. She's on the podium. She's a rookie. Like
Yeah.
sick result.
Rookie
for Winter.
first podium for
Yeah.
Winter. Yeah, and she is Freeride. She works
Yep.
for Freeride.
Yep.
She's on the Freeride World Tour. Like she's
If you've ever sent an email to support@ifsa freeriders.org, it's Winter on the other end of that.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, couldn't be more involved in the sport.
Yeah. So congratulations to Winter. Any other notables from
Yeah, it was so.
maybe I bring up Molly. Molly had a great run.
Winning run.
Winning run. Yeah, huge stomp at the top. A really great second air, then a third air. She popped over that wind lip I told you about. She was a little hesitant heading into. She went to the top of the day wrecker, a little hesitant into it, but just setting up.
Yeah, because she was going a totally different direction. She was going where Victor Hale Woods and Max Hitzig went.
Yeah. And then she ended up going cross court, but as Molly does, off the largest part that there possibly is, which I love her for that so much. And it's like, is it too much? No, because we've seen her land those.
Yep.
So she went over to it and then sent the cliff and then full on punch front. As soon as she
The
landed,
snow was deep there.
as soon as she landed, her skis came off, which is a huge bummer. I will talk about a Derekism. Because both skis took off, and she's like, "Oh, looks like the skis are racing themselves," and then and then he paused for me. You're like, "Oh, looks like the left one's taking the win." So he like added to it. I started laughing, but it's just such a bummer because that was a winning run. Like she looks solid, and that's like she goes bigger or attempts to go bigger than every other woman on in that field.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And it is a shame that it didn't work out because the rest of that run was stellar. And like you said, I love that. I love that factor that she has, that she brings of like the full throttle, full send. She's going for it.
And like just to add to that, when she put her ski back on, she straight lined the chute with one ski on.
Yeah, like what?
I didn't know. Like I was watching and I thought it was fine. She's like, no, she told me that she did. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, because you thought she was on too.
Yeah,
because
there's
kind of balanced.
Why would you
and
do
fun.
that?
Yeah, because why would you do that? Yeah, exactly.
But she actually like took her knee off her face, I think too. She had a little bit of blood on her lip, but she's fine. More for no worse for the wear, I guess. But probably a little sore, but.
Yeah, and then one other thing in there, Justine Dufour-Lapointe, like she's been in the Golden Bib for a full calendar year,
which is crazy. I forgot to write it. I saw that highlight on one of the posts. I was like, oh, we should talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. That's nuts.
It's incredible, the dominance, and we said it in the show. Like she's still getting better. She's still only done this for 2 seasons, but the skill set that she brings to it is just incredible. But she is still learning and improving. And she had a big learning there where she was coming into that wind lip and she was like, I need a lot of speed. Okay, I'm going fast. The factor she didn't consider was there was hardly any lip there.
No.
And so she cooked into it and threw a backflip about a foot off the ground at 50 miles an hour and just like the most savage tip catch face plant you could possibly, boom, airbag deploys. Like it was comical, and she was laughing. She was
do you know what's funny? I bet
it.
you there's people saying that she needed a crash like that, but I don't think she needed. But she hasn't had a crash like that, like where she. I don't think there has been a crash from her where it was just an error.
Or Georgia last year, where she
right.
like massively oversent her backflip into that couloir. Her and Astrid both, just like to doom.
Well, but that's different. I see that a little differently. That's commitment,
This was commitment. She committed to it completely.
I would say this was a mistake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah.
Like there was a mistake.
It was, and she was like, I don't know. I should have just straight aired. Because her top was sick.
Yeah, so like I talked to her at the bottom, and she's like, I was going through, and I was going fast enough, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go do this. And sure enough, nope, didn't work. And then I was like, you know what? But I don't think there's a more perfect person to have what happened next happen.
Yeah.
Right? So there's Justine who has this airbag go off, this massive airbag. Hey, look at me now. Giant mammoth ad.
Yeah, Mammut was loving that.
Sorry, Mammut, excuse me. Straight lining down through the chute, this thing going, and then standing in the finish line with the fully inflated Mammut advertisement on the back of like probably the most professional skier in the whole tour. Right? I'm like, only you. Of course that happens that way.
Yeah.
She's like, that is actually kind of funny.
And there was no like whipping the poles around. Like she can't, you know how people get upset because they're emotionally invested in this.
She was laughing.
Yeah, she recognized the humor in the moment and just took it all in. And yeah, now she's first time in a year that she's out of that leader's bib, but you know she'll be coming back hungry for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ski Women was a good one, and I'm glad that because what the men took so long. The sun, there was this one little bump on the horizon. The sun went behind the horizon, like right near the end of the Ski Men, and it got cold.
Oh, you don't have to tell me.
It got so cold. And then it went past the bump for like a couple riders. But the Ski Women were pretty much in the shade the entire time. The whole crowd was in the shade the whole time. People were starting to get really cold. It was like, we've been there for like 5 hours already.
Yeah.
It was a long one. So I'm glad that they were, like when the men were going, I was like, oh my God, this is rough. Like, they kind of really brought it back up again and finished strong.
For sure.
Finished strong for the thing. So that wraps up all 4 categories. So the Golden Bibs, you want to take that?
Yeah, we've got Ben Richards with 2 wins, looking absolutely unstoppable right now. This man, like you said, it's looking like his year. He's just going to look to keep momentum rolling. Victor De La Rue, he's got, it's a little bit tighter there for Snowboard Men, but Victor on top again, right where he is used to sitting. Mia Jones holding on, but only by 400 points over Noemi Aki.
Right.
So that's shaping up to be a really exciting battle. And then Augustina Vietti taking the Golden Bib for the first time that anybody else has worn it except for Justine in a full year.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if she feels pressure on that or if she's just stoked. We're going to wait and see.
So Ben obviously with 2 wins, Agustina with a win and a 4th place, Victor with a win and a 6th place, and of course Mia a win and a 3rd with 2 podiums. So good, congrats to them. We'll see how they carry that forward. The Peak Fun Bet. Actually, before we get to the fun bet, let's get to our heads up moment. Do you have one in mind?
I do, yeah. Abel Moga.
Yes, you took it.
Abel Moga. It was weird.
Abel, you know what? I never really thought about it that way, but Abel does things a little weird.
He runs
like
different.
he's unique, but like and he's interesting, but yeah, he does things a little weird, but in a great way.
There's a piece. So it was weird, but it was smart. It was strategic. Abel needed to put a run down to his feet. He was 17th with a no score or with a full crash in Bakira.
Yeah.
And Abel wants to requalify. He wants to go to Alaska. He wants to go to Verbier. He wants to be on tour next year.
Yeah.
So he didn't want a run with a lot of risk, and he said, and I got to give him so much credit for this. He said that flat drop, the one, the day record, the doom drop, he's like, that's going to gobble people up. Lots of guys are going to crash.
He called it ahead of time.
Yeah, the night before. He's like, it's going to go full slope style, and lots of people are going to crash.
Interesting.
So he went way over on the other side where nobody.
Yeah, he's the only he went literally to
way out to the to the skiers, right? He was like high-fiving the crowd along the fence.
Well,
did a big front flip, had a couple airs.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing out there, but it wasn't like the most rowdy cliff-filled run.
Right.
It was safe. It was smart, and he got a decent finish, and now he's above the cut.
I love how everyone just expects a front flip in his run now, which, to be honest with you, I'm glad he did it, but I also kind of want him to not think he's
Like he has to?
Like he has to, because he's done one in like every comp for the last several, I think. So I'm glad he put it down. He was super smooth.
Yeah.
And he went over that zone. And actually some of the riders I was in, so at that point I went into this the media, there's like a little TV tent. All the athletes kind of gather around and actually watch the comp. And they're like, is that out of the bounds? Is that out of the boundary? And it wasn't. So good for him, because it was an interesting run. And it put him like, dead right in the middle. So yeah, good for Abel.
Yeah, finished 7th.
Yeah, and we're not just choosing Abel because he's a head athlete.
Yeah, but I thought it was heads up.
Yeah.
That was smart. It was clever. He read the situation, and did what needed to be done to put himself in a position where now he doesn't need. Because as we get closer to the cut, if you're lower, you go from like, okay, I need a mid-pack finish. I need a top 10. Oh God, now I need a podium. Oh, now I only make it if I win, right? That's gnarly to be in that spot as we get later into the season through Georgia and Fieberbrunn. And now he's above the cut, sitting tied with Victor Hell Woods in 11th. So he's sitting pretty.
There you go. And then if I had to choose one, I'd probably say Agustina. Just for everything that we discussed about. She also happens to be a head athlete.
We're not doing that on purpose.
Not on purpose, but it just works out. Hey.
There's a lot of them on the tour, so odds are somebody's going to do something smart.
That's what happens when you support Freeride. And like everything we just mentioned, it's such a cool story. Not only is she like succeeding for herself, she's literally lifting up a nation of skiers and snow sports enthusiasts. So that's that. Getting a little bit farther here, wrapping things up. The fun bet, I didn't do terribly. I did. I moved up a bit to like 219th overall. I don't know how many there are. I got to find out how many there are in total there.
Well, I'm in 621st, so there's more than that.
But even though I gained on the overall, I dropped in the Freeride Guide League. So that shows you guys are doing really, really well. So if you haven't yet, there's the Peak Performance Fun Bet. It's like Freeride Fantasy. And while you go, you basically pick your top 3 riders for each category. Who you think's going to win, you get points depending on if you get anybody on the podium. And then you can play against other people in specific leagues. We have the Freeride Guide Podcast League. Go sign up. There's lots of space left. We want you guys involved. I actually told a bunch of the Snowbrains guys that were here for media to join us. So I moved up, but I dropped in the league. And then Derek moved down to 621 overall, and you're 21st in the Freeride League.
Tough.
And in top spot is NW, which is Noah Wallace, former professional skier. He's one of the marketing managers for Atomic Skis now as well. So shout out to Noah. How you doing, bud? A good friend of mine as well. Then we got Briarby in second place. And then in third place, we have a guy that has been grinding on the Challenger Tour and the 3 and 4 stars, Tyler Curl.
Tyler Curl, great skier. Yeah, freeride enthusiast, big time. So clearly showing that he knows a lot more about this sport than we do.
Friend of the show too. He's he's had clip of him on the show. So shout out to Tyler. And the Peak Performance Fun Bet. I don't think the Fun Bet is included in the World Championships, which is next week.
No.
So next week there is an event, but the Fun Bet isn't part of it. I think we should probably try and do a quick 20-minute just lead into the Andorra event if we can figure that out. So that's the next event. And then we want to give you the IFSA update. There's a bunch of junior events coming up this week. As you know, we are a partner of IFSA, or the Region 2 Governing Board. So this week there are a bunch of junior events, which is kind of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, we've got events in Jackson, Pano, Red Mountain, Junior 3-star. The Whistler Freeride Club will be at that one, along with all the other Canadian teams and a bunch of U.S. crew coming up. They always like to come up to Canada to shred at those 3-stars. Monarch, like at Big Sky, Stowe. The 4-star and Revy went off at 2-star, 4-star. 2-star at Kicking Horse is done, and we got the 4-star at Kicking Horse coming up, I think,
next week?
Yeah, it's coming soon. So all super exciting. The first Region 1 Challenger event, the Open Faces Silveretta Montafon Challenger comp popping off as well. So
you watched that today?
Yeah, I watched the broadcast. It was cool. That face is unreal. That definitely could be a Freeride World Tour venue. huge face with a ton of terrain options, and everybody just threw down.
Because they're interchangeable, right? I haven't found out if they're going to be hosting the 4-star on the Ozone, but I think they should.
Well, they're doing no. It won't be the 4-star. Won't be
The
on
Challenger.
Ozone because they're going to have a Challenger comp there at the end of the season.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking.
And if weather and snow cooperate, it should hopefully be on Ozone. And they're having like the
best
season of
ever.
all time.
Yeah.
So should be on Ozone for that.
All right, and then so that is the IFSA update. You can go to ifsa.com, I think.
IFSAfreeriders.org.
ifsafreeriders.com. And then, so quick question for you with regards to the juniors. So Panorama and Red Mountain are terribly far away from each other. With the junior 2-star, is that normally just like local riders? And then when you get to the 3 and 4-star, that's when the riders will start to travel a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no 4-stars in juniors other than the championship event at the end of the season. But the 3-stars are more, they used to be called nationals, 2-stars regionals. So it's a little bit more of a grassroots event. It's kind of the development aspect of it where they're... it's just a bit more grassroots, a little bit more local, not a ton of traveling to 2-stars. And then 3-stars are the heavy hitters from all around North and South America coming to meet up and test themselves against each other.
Right on. And as for those of you that don't know, Derek is the head of the Whistler Freeride Club. So he gets to know a lot of these kids as they're growing up, as they're coming through the thing. So it's really cool that you have that kind of knowledge and awareness of who to kind of keep an eye out for.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know who the up and comers are, and then when we see them on the tour, I mean, there's 4 former Whistler Freeride Club athletes on the Freeride World Tour right now: Finn Powell, Locke Harvey, Wei Tian Ho, Marcus Gogan.
And I do have to give you credit as well for staying neutral on the broadcast. Sometimes I do detect a little bit more volume in your voice when one of the Whistler Freeride alum will put down a rum, but you keep it very neutral. Because you also know a lot of these other kids from being on the tour, right? Even though they're not from the Whistler Freeride clubs, they're on other clubs that you've competed against. And Freeride's a community, so you get to know the parents, you get to know the kids, and I'm sure you feel that like bit of pride when you see
I love
them.
it. I love seeing the sport. These athletes travel through the entire sport pyramid from juniors, even at U12, where they're tiny little groms, 9, 10, 11 years old, just ripping around, learning how to ski, figuring out what freeride's all about, all the way through to the Freeride World Tour. It's really cool, and the pyramid on both sides, Region 1 and Region 2, is really working well. If you look at the Freeride World Tour right now, the vast majority of the riders on the tour have come or we're getting to the point where they're coming through both in Europe, North America, New Zealand, South America. Like, they're coming through these clubs, they're learning how to do this, and then they're putting it to work at the elite level, which is, I think it's cool. It's a good testament that the programs, the coaching, the athlete development, the IFSA and the FWT, it's all working. Yeah, the coaches are the backbone of this whole thing.
Shout out Freeride coaches.
Killing it.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's it. That's wrapped up the Val Thorens Pro second event of the season. It was an interesting one for sure. And the next one is the first ever FIS World Championships in Andorra. And we'll give you guys a bit more information about that. It's not part of the overall this year. It's a kind of a special Freeride World Tour event. And that's up next. And we're going to be heading over. Yeah,
packing bags and heading to
flying or hitting a train or a bus to Andorra here in a couple days. Get some skiing in. Looks like the snow's on its way. And Andorra is actually getting some precipitation as well, which is really, really cool because it's usually a pretty dry spot.
It can be, yeah. But they have a ton of snow right now and snow in the forecast. So I'm keeping fingers and toes crossed that we're gonna have a POW comp there for the first ever Freeride World Championships.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in once again. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm giving you a wave. If you're listening on the podcast, thanks for tuning in. So please watch and listen and subscribe and follow. If you're watching, if you're listening, we'd really appreciate for you to go through and give us a 5-star review. And watch and listen. Follow us on social media, freeride_guide, Foose on Instagram, and red_mark on Instagram, or the Low Pressure Podcast, because I'm kind of in all of them. Thanks very much, everybody.
We'll
talk to you next week.
This has been a Redmark Media production.